CQ, calling CQ the Old Friends Net. CQ the Old Friends Net. This is WA4LLR, Dave in Burnsville, North Carolina, calling CQ the Old Friends Net. This net beats on this frequency 3 times weekly, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 a.m., Sunday afternoons at 4 p.m. The net is conducted in the Amplitude Modulation mode, carried out in the roundtable format. All stations are certainly welcome to participate. So, stations that would like to be a part of the Old Friends, give me a call and come down.
WB4ARK.
N4R.
N4LQ.
KZ4B.
K4GDN. W4DCS.
W4MEC. Alrighty, I have heard these: WB4ARK, KN4R, N4LQ, KZ4B, K4GDN, W4DCS, and W4MEC. Who did I miss? Alrighty then. Do we have any other check-ins? Come now. Okay, one more time down the list. WB4ARK, KN4R, N4LQ, KZ4B, K4GDN, W4DCS, W4MEC. Anyone else? Alrighty, well, good morning to everybody. Hope you're having a great Tuesday morning for the 10th of February. And I could not believe my eyes when I looked at the thermometer this morning. 51 degrees. Supposed to be going up to 65, so I certainly will take that with much gusto. Anyway, running the Johnson Viking 500, receiving on the 183D. So let's go down to Mr. Buddy. WB4ARK, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, WB4ARK. Okay, Dave. Well, we've got a nice bright day today, blue sky, and some melting snow. So that's a good thing here. We don't have much left. There's just a little bit here and there, but there is some still hanging around, as they say, looking for some more. But I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. It's supposed to warm up a little bit, maybe 70 today by late this afternoon, and according to the weatherman. And tomorrow maybe a little cooler, but anyway, we're glad to see it. So, over to KN4R, WB4ARK.
Okay, buddy. Very good. WB4ARK in the group. KN4R. Brian over in Sherrills Ford, where it's 31 degrees and supposedly going to 70 today, so that'll be good. And I'm on the GRC9, if you can't tell, a little amplifier. And let's see, the only thing new here is that we're getting used to our 2 new dogs here. They're very small, and but they're really good dogs so far. So but they take a lot of time, just like having kids around again. So, Steve, how's Linda doing over there with the cataract surgery? N4LQ in the group, KN4R.
All right, KN4R, N4LQ. Everything's fine here. And the cataract surgery on one eye is done really good, and waiting for the next one next week. It's 33 here in Shelby. And Dave, I can't believe you're 20 degrees higher than we are here That's amazing. It's supposed to get up to 73, so a bit warmer. I'm running the calling 75. I mean, yeah, 75A4, 32V3 combo, and the horizontal loop antenna and the D104 mic and all that good stuff. I just read an interesting article on the front page of Fox News this morning that scientists have discovered that coffee is great for reducing the chances of dementia and heart problems and cholesterol, everything. And that is amazing. And they recommend 3 to 5 cups every morning. So I got to get busy here. Over to KZ4B, N4LQ.
Very fine, Steve. N4LQ and the group KZ4B, fine business. I need to drink more coffee. That is for sure. And I do drink coffee, but I'm a one cupper. So I need to step up my game. That is for sure. And I'm on the usual, the T150, driving the AL82. My SWR seems to be a little higher than usual, and yet it's warm. It hadn't come down yet. So I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, so over to George, K4GDN and the group KZ4B, over.
KZ4B and the group, K4GDN. And here in Myrtle Beach, it's clear. It's in the mid to upper 30s, supposed to warm up, I guess, at least into the 50s, maybe even the 60s in some areas today. We're running the helicopter station, the HT32B. Looks like we're putting about 10 watts into the 811 linear, getting about 125 out, receiving on an SX100. Everybody seems to be coming in here pretty good. The band's in good shape. There is some QSB, but other than that, I'm copying everybody okay at this point. So I'll go ahead and pass it on. Doug is coming to you. W4 DCS in the group, K4GDN.
Yeah, K4GDN, W4 DCS. Winston-Salem, we've got 28 degrees here. So yeah, Dave's the warm spot. That's a switch. That's unusual. And we are Orlando bound. I'll be leaving out tomorrow afternoon. I know you guys probably saw the email I sent on the reflector about the Collins set, the 32V3 75A1 with the directional watt meter, spare output tube. It's got a dial key mounted on the back of it too. It's turnkey. Nice setup. And I was asking $6 for it, but I'll tell you what, I do not want to haul the thing all the way down to Orlando, and I'm willing to knock it down. So if anybody's interested, I'll send another note on the reflector. Maybe one of the guys in the group will spare me the trouble of hauling the doggone thing down to Orlando. A guy up in Pennsylvania emailed me. He wants it, but he wanted me to meet him halfway, and he's in Lancaster, PA. I'm not planning to go north, so I don't think I'm going to go along with that. I'm on the Harvey Wells into the SP220. I think it's got a little bit of hum in it, but it's back working again. It had a drive problem. It had an intermittent resistor, something I haven't run into before. It would work, and then you'd see the grid meter bouncing around, and then it'd go out, and then it'd come back, and very strange. Finally, the resistor was tied to the drive control, and finally it went open, so I was able to locate it. But yeah, that was kind of weird. Anyhow, where am I going? Charlie, here you go. W4MEC, is it warm there? W4DCS.
W4DCS and the old friends W4MEC. Good morning, everybody. I think Dave needs to go recheck his thermometers. I got 26 degrees here, and all my thermometers agree within a degree, so you got you a regular heat wave up there. It's supposed to get warm down here. It still has not melted in my driveway. I realize it's the sun is too far south still, and I just get zero sunlight, over 80% of it. So, and it's still a mess, and I haven't been out there. I did go out a couple days ago and try it with the pickaxe, and it was still ringing that, so I said, forget it. I shot me a couple of paths through there where I could walk without slipping, but I'm still having to go turn the car around and pull up to the front porch for my wife. That's one spot to get sun, and it's clear. But hopefully it will warm up enough and this stuff will get out of here. But, well, I had my first Amazon loss here a couple days ago. I ordered something, and they said it was delivered to my front porch, and it wasn't there. So I said, well, give it 24 hours because they might have said it was delivered early. I said, now why would they tell me it was delivered to my front porch if they hadn't done that? Well, it didn't show up the next day either. And I finally got a hold of a human being at Amazon and told them I want a replacement. So I don't know what happened to it, what front porch it's sitting on, but it wasn't mine. And they didn't take a picture. A lot of times they take a picture, but this time they did not. So anyway, maybe it'll get here in a day or two this time. Interesting, did I mention this the other day? I had complained to the NCDMV about getting a renewal for my driver's license, and I was supposed to go get it, show up this time, because the last time I did during COVID, and I couldn't go down there. So they would let you updo it, renew it online, and even if you were due a visit to the DMV office, they let you do it online, which I did. So this time I got the notice, and it said, oh, I got to report for, the DMV office and do it there. So I said, okay. So I tried to set an appointment, and they did the same thing they did for my wife. They set one up in Farquhar Arena 3 months out. So anyway, I said, the heck with that, so I'll wait a while. And they answered me back, and DMV answered me back and said, well, we've made improvements. I said, okay. So the day before yesterday, I said, well, I'm going to go schedule my darn appointment for the driver's license. And I sat down at the computer and did all the tip-tap typing, and all of a sudden, I had completed it, and $57 later, I had a brand new driver's license. So I don't know what they did to decide I didn't need to report and have the driver's vision test and all that, but they did, so I'm not complaining. But apparently they made some changes there on renewing driver's license, and we got to show up for vision tests. Because you don't do the signs anymore. They dropped that. It's just purely vision. So anyway, and I didn't want one of those federal ID driver's licenses. I forgot what they call them. And I just hope that if they pass this darn voter ID bill, the proof of being an American is that darn federal North Carolina driver's license. WA4 LLR in the group, W4MSC.
All right, Charlie. Let me stand by. Do we have any other check-ins for the old friends? Come now. All right, guess that's got everybody. Well, Charlie, I checked 3 thermometers. One of them says 52, and 2 of them say 51. So I don't think they're all lying. I guess we have quite a temperature inversion. Anyway, let's see here. Doug, good deal on heading to Orlando tomorrow. And I listened carefully, and I did not detect any hum in the Harvey Wells. Now, I did hear just a bit when you were up on 3885, but I'm not hearing any down here on 3715. On the 183D with the matching speaker. But if somebody's got a subwoofer or something, they might hear a little, but I'm not hearing any. George, I think you're one of the stronger signals on the band. You're 35 over this morning on the HT32V. So conditions between here and Myrtle Beach are evidently awesome. Good morning, you, John. The T150 sounds great as always. And yeah, I'm a 1 cup or less coffee drinker, not because I want, but because for some reason coffee started tearing my stomach up. So I switched off to black tea. But I do love to sneak a cup of coffee every now and then. It's interesting to find out that it's a cure-all. Isn't it interesting how, as time passes, suddenly something is the root of all evil, and then give it a few years, and suddenly it becomes the savior of the world. So I don't know if it's who has the strongest lobby or the deepest pockets, but I don't know. And Brian, the GRC9 sounds good, and congratulations on 2 new dogs. I'm quite a dog fan myself. Grew up with one, and I've always tried to keep one ever since. And buddy, I do hope that the weather today gets rid of your remaining snow cover. Let's see what's going on here. Not a whole lot. Got to run some errands. Speaking of dogs, I've got to go to Tractor Supply and get a new load of food for our our mini horse that masquerades as a dog, and run a few errands. Let's see, we've got ministry at the jail this evening. Looking forward to that. So that's pretty much what's going on around here. Space weather, nothing exciting at the moment. Sunspot count's 107, solar flux index is 144, and the K is 2.67. Few items from this day in history. On this day in 1996, world chess champion Garry Kasparov lost to a computer. On this day in 1763, the French and Indian War came to an end. On this day in 1957, Laura Ingalls Wilder, the chronicle of the American frontier life, passed away. On this day in 1962, pilot Gary Powers was exchanged in a U.S.-Soviet spy swap. On this day in 1966, Mr. Unsafe at Any Speed, Ralph Nader, testified before Congress. On this day in 1992, boxer Mike Tyson was convicted of rape. And let's see, on this day in 2014, Shirley Temple passed away at the age of 85. And one more that's of interest to all of us is on this day in 1943, duct tape was born when Vesta Stout, a factory worker packing World War II munitions, wrote FDR outlining her idea to replace weak paper packing tape with tougher waterproof cloth version. He was impressed and pushed the idea into production. So there you go. WB4ARK, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, WB4ARK. Okay, Dave, that's very interesting about this day in history. The unit I'm using today is a 32V3, and we're running about 65-70 watts out to the horizontal dipole receiving on the R390A. So we finally got the TR switch hooked up on the back, and so that's got that done, and it seems to be holding at about 3716.04. A little bit high, but not too bad. The weather here, the temperature is right now 42. Was 30 degrees this morning at 7 o'clock, and I think we're having a temperature inversion up there, Dave. inversion going up. So anyhow, it's nice to hear about the conditions in various places across the state of North and South Carolina, and hopefully it's going to reach 70 degrees today, because I'd like to see some nice warm weather this afternoon to work outside. But that's going to be a very, very nice welcome temperature after all of this cold. And it was not nice yesterday either. It was cold all day long. So hopefully things are going to get better. And Doug, I think your 75A A1, I think it was. I hope you get a sale on that before you leave, because I know you don't want to have to pump that all the way to Florida. But too bad that guy couldn't make it a little bit closer, maybe come down 3/4 of the way and meet you, but I guess he couldn't do that. But anyhow, that seems like an option though for him and you. So maybe you could pass that word to him, see if he would bite on that. So over to KN4R. This is WB4ARK.
Okay, buddy. Very good. WB4ARK in the group. KN4R returning. Okay, very good. Very interesting on all. And I usually drink 2 to 3 cups of coffee in the morning, which is probably good. But I use creamer, which is probably bad. So, I'm just hopeful that the good and the bad cancel each other out with no ill effects. But my wife was just telling me that if you will take a short 10-minute walk after you eat, it helps with sugar and all sorts of different things. So me, I like to take a nap after I eat. So that's probably the worst thing to do. So, Doug, good luck at Hamcation. I'm very jealous that I'm not going this year, and I hope the turnout's great. I hope the weather's great, and it's a big party. So, and let's see, what else have I got? George, your HC32B sounds pretty good up here. So all the rigs sound good. Steve's 32B also, and Dave, of course, with the big 500 up there. So. And I think Buddy's using a 32B today too, so they're definitely, the rig to have. I just picked up in an auction in Oklahoma City it turns out it's a prototype KWM1. I know Steve doesn't like these things because they're hard to work on, but this one, it's got some interesting differences from a regular KWM1. It's got a script Collins above the S-meter instead of the Collins logo, and the verniers on the PA load and tune knobs are more like Navy versions where you can lock them down so they stick together a little further. And I was just looking, the crystal holder up in the top left-hand corner doesn't have squeezes to kind of snap it into place and unsnap it there with the 2 little pull arms. It's just got the pull arms, but not the little locking features. So anyway, kind of interesting. So anyway, John and I had a good time taking the country route down to the Spartanburg luncheon. Went right through Cowpens, and there was a lot to see, so I like that. So anyway, over to you, Steve. N4LQ in the group, KN4R.
KN4R, N4LQ. All right, Brian. Congratulations on the doggies. I'm glad that worked out. And I know it's going to be a lot of work for an old fella Boy, we're not going to go through that again after these are gone. That's it. That's my wife's decision. She can't. I'm doing the feeding and watering as it is. Speaking of rigs and inflation, last night we were talking on 160 about the price of a Drake 2B was 280, almost $300 in 1959, it's 1960, and inflation is approximately 10 times, so $3,000 almost for a Drake 2B nowadays. At the top of the list was the Collins KWM2, retailed for $1,100 in 1959, which would put it up around $11,000 now. And that's in line really with ICOM's top of the line, which is also around 11,000. I think it's the IC 781 or something like that. So that's not too many people could afford Collins equipment back in those days. I did read just now, I looked up Dave's problem with coffee. Dark roast is better for your stomach, easier on your stomach anyway, has lower acidity. Light roast is the stronger one. It seems backwards, I know, but that's the way it works. And duct tape, I remember the little house we bought in 1970. I had to move the furnace and redo some ducts, and it was all done with asbestos tape, and that's all I knew about back then. So I went to the hardware store and bought the asbestos tape, and you dipped it in water and ran it around the joint and smoothed it out. That's all there was to it. And it stuck there forever until it cracked or something. And duct tape's hard to beat, no doubt about it, but I just don't remember anybody using it back then. I'm sure they did. And well, today I go for my Medicare wellness exam at 2:20 today, and that's where they ask you all these silly questions. Do you have throw rugs in your house? Do you have handhold? Can you stand up? Does your wife beat you? All that kind of stuff. So I don't know. She told me I had to take it. She actually told me that if I don't take this thing, they will they will drop me as a patient. I came home and looked it up, and the lawyers say no, they can't do that. But that's what she said. They get paid. They get paid about $130 to $140 for every patient on one of those silly tests. So let's see. Over to the KZ4B N4LQ.
N4LQ in the group KZ4B. Fine business, Steve. I know exactly what you're talking about. My wife acts like a prisoner in a Russian internment camp. She refuses to answer any of those questions. I just laugh at them. But it's really kind of a joke with these medical wellness tests. Shifting gears, my grandfather had a 32 V3. I think they weigh about 120 pounds. And it was everything I could do to manhandle that. Every time the thing gave trouble, which was not too often, but often enough, I had to fix it because I was young and strapping. And now, I mean, it's a bridge too far. And talking about heavy, I've also got a HT32A, HT33A linear amp combination that I need to get on the air. The 32s are good sounding transmitters, and the 33A will kick it on up just about to the legal limit. And but the AL82 is, I guess, about 40 pounds lighter than a 32V transmitter. And so it's a whole lot easier to manhandle, and I can't handle that. So even the T150, if I try to lift it up over my shoulders, is too much. So my, how things change. And speaking of dogs, our dog, which is a little black and white Chihuahua, has saved our marriage. The price I pay is that she is about 10 pecking orders above me in status. And the wife loves her far more than she loves me, but she's so happy with the dog that she'll put up with me. So it's a price I'm willing to pay. You just can't beat a dog. They're just magical. And on that score, Brian, I can't wait to meet your two new kids. I'm sure they're cute as a button. So on that note, over to George. And you are indeed booming in here. K4GDN in the group, KZ4B, over.
KZ4B in the group, K4GDN. Yeah, it looks like I might be driving this thing just a little bit too hard. I just cut it back a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, it's put out a little over 100 watts. I like the 32B. It's about the weight limit for me. I think it's about 65 or 70 pounds. And it's on the first level. It's easier to get it in and out if I have to. But the 32V3 would just be a killer. It's just a little too heavy. I'm pretty much setting my limit at about 65 or 70 pounds anymore. I got rid of the Johnson 500 and things that go along with that. I would be interested in getting a Helicrafter's HT45 linear. It uses a separate power supply, so it's not all that heavy, not that hard to deal with. And as far as the coffee, I only do about 2 cups a day. That's about my limit. I never have been a big coffee drinker. I think in the 6 years I spent in the Navy, I probably didn't drink more than a dozen cups of coffee. Never was much on it back then. And I've never been much into soft drinks either. Some people substituted soft drinks for the coffee. Excuse me. And anyway, I haven't had any experience with this Medicare questioning business. I go to the VA, and the VA is now doing me twice a year for a physical, so I end up having 4 physicals a year with our private doctor and the VA, each of them doing one every 6 months. Lose a lot of blood that way, I guess. But if something's wrong, I guess I'll find out about it. Anyway, everybody seems to be coming in pretty well here at the beach. Glad to hear the 32B is working well. So with that, we'll pass it on to you, Doug. W4DCS in the group, K4GDN.
Yeah, K4GDN, W4DCS. Okay, George. Yeah, you dropped down a little on that one, but still 100% copy. I think we're starting to lose the band a little bit. But, yeah, the coffee, I cut it back because it runs my blood pressure. I've been trying to get the blood pressure under control, and so I've cut it back to 1 cup. And, yeah, like Brian said, I use cream in it as well, and just a little bit of sugar. But I used to drink it black, but it's still like Dave. It started tearing up my stomach, so I started adding cream. But yeah, got to have at least 1 cup in the morning. And duct tape. I'd hazard to guess every one of us has a couple of rolls of that around. You can float a boat with that stuff. And this thing seems to be drifting up. Kind of interesting. But what else? I don't really have anything else. So I'll shoot it over to you, Charlie. And yeah, I've still got ice here in the shade spots, thick ice. And my back deck is still got, kind of iced over snow on it. So maybe the warm today will get rid of it. I think they're calling for 62, so hopefully that'll do the trick. All right, W4MEC, W4DCS.
All right, very good, Doug. W4DCS and the old friends, W4MEC. Yeah, I wonder if that report on the coffee was sponsored by the U.S. Coffee Sellers of America or something. I have heard that too, about the plus benefits of coffee. It's interesting that the normal cup is 6 ounces and your mug, well, I've got a coffee maker that'll only make 6 cups of coffee, and I fill it up at about 3.5, and it fills your basic large mug. Not your float a whole donut size mug, but a pretty good sized mug. And that's about 3 cups in one of those big mugs. So that's what I get in the morning. And I do use cream or milk. And if you ever looked at those little half and half creamers, it says right on the package in teeny tiny writing, shake well. So I've always, a lot of people just pop them open and dump them in, but it actually says shake them up. Because if it says shake well, that means it's real milk and cream, not something synthetic. So I don't want you to mix them back together there. And I do that. And yeah, the reason you want to take a nap after you eat, Brian, is because your blood sugar goes up, and that make you want to go to sleep. So that's why it's important to get up and walk a little bit, 5 minutes or so, and burn that little bit of sugar spike off, is what that's about. So. Well, I'd love to have those Collins rigs there, Doug, but number one, I don't have any room, and I still have this Gold Dust Twin project I've been tinkering away with here, and get that going. And at least that's a vertical stack of equipment, not a horizontal stack. I have more room for a vertical stack than something side by side. Been working on the house that my wife and I picked up for my daughter down in Mill Spring, and I was working on it yesterday. Trying to get the old furnace to work. It had a heat pump, but somebody stole the heat pump. So, and the furnace had the schematic on the side of it, and was looking at that and figuring out what I had. And I found out that things like the gas valve works, and I got the blower to work after I figured out where they put the temperature switch there that it warms up and then the fan comes on, so I bypass that and the fan works, so everything works in it. I'm going to take a propane tank down there and a jumper pipe here and hook it up and see if I can light that thing off and see if it'll actually make heat, and at least get heat here for what's remaining of the winter for them. And the heater is a quality heater. It's been made. The company's been around for 100 years making these kind of house heaters, propane house heaters. So no issues with that, or getting parts if I need them. But when I throw the breaker on for the heater, it says furnace. There's no power, and I'm not sure where it is. I've been tracing it back. I got it at the breaker. The wire's hooked up, but it disappears somewhere between the breaker and the wall where the heater is. So I need to figure out what happened to my 110, So, and there was a gas water heater in there. It is 30 years old, and I'm going to do a close inspection of that. It hadn't been used either, and I was looking into on the burner there, and it's got some crud in the holes, you know, where the flame comes out. So I'm going to inspect it real good, and I'll probably swap it out for an electric one, to be honest with you, and run a cable for that. So anyway, that's what we're doing on that house. And I did move all the crappy utensils out yesterday, washer and dryer. Washing machine gave me a fit trying to get it out of there. It's an older Kimball unit and weighed a ton, but nothing weighed as much as that stove. Now, I've had a couple of gas stoves and electric stove, and this is a General Electric, and I swear it's the heaviest appliance. It weighs as much as a refrigerator, I think. And that thing was, I don't know, I can't describe how heavy it was. To get it out of the house, and I put them in a storage shed and get them out of the weather there. I think probably going to be sold after they're cleaned up. But there was nothing to grab. Everything was slippery, and it was just so heavy it was impossible to move there. And I don't know why it was built so solidly. It wasn't that old of a model. Well, I'll take it back. It was probably 30 years old, but I got a stove that's 40-something years old. There's magic shaft in it, and this thing weighed at least 3 times what that thing did. So anyway, I got it out of the house, and to continue on with all the refurbishments and plug all the holes in the walls and all that stuff. So anyway, WA4LLR in the group, W4MEC.
All right, Charlie. One more standby. Any late check-ins? Come now. All right, nothing heard. Well, on that furnace, just be absolutely sure that your vent or your flue is open. Make sure that nobody's come and decide to build a home in the vent pipe. You don't want to be firing that thing up and not having a good flue or vent going. And that's interesting that the AC vanishes somewhere between the breaker and the outlet for the unit. I hope you can find that without too much trouble. And Steve, good luck on your Medicare wellness exam. And if you want to just mess with their mind, when they tell you to draw the clock face and show on a certain time, just draw a digital and write the numbers on it. I did that the last time, and the girl cracked up. And don't forget to remember your 3 words. Oh, me, yeah. Do you feel threatened? Do you feel safe at home? Do you have any guns? None of your business. Anyway, yeah, it's a trip. Well, let's see. And that is kind of counterintuitive about, the darker roast coffee being less irritating than the lighter. But who knows? Okay, we'll send it back around for another round. Signals are still good. WB4ARK, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, WB4ARK. Okay, Dave. Well, that's pretty good about the questions. My doctor gave me a thing to fill out, and it had all of those questions on it. And so then he went back over it. This has been, I don't know, probably 15 years ago, and asked me the questions again. And it was, I had never seen anything like this before, and it was really strange. The questions they ask, do you have any rugs that you might slip on? Do you have handrails on everything? Steps? And it just went on and on and on, and I just, I was taken back by it. But I answered everything and got that done, so I guess that was to pass on to the powers that be. I don't know. I didn't ask. I just did what I was supposed to do and got out of there. But he has since retired. This doctor was not that old. And got a notice about 2 years ago that he had retired. And I needed to select another doctor. But I didn't. And I haven't been back since. So I'm just, at this point, I'm not sure I really need to go back to the doctor. But I'm going to let it go at that. And if they press me on it, I'll tell them my reasoning. But I don't know. Anyhow, that's the deal today, and we'll say, the 32V3 is rather heavy, but it has handle slots on the ends of the chassis, which is really good. Collins did this on several of their units, the 30S1, the KWS1, and a number of other heavier devices, and I really like that. Even the 310B has these slots on the end of the chassis to help pick it up, and I thought that was a very good addition, and so. Hallicrafter didn't do that. They didn't make anything like that I know of. So, but my HT41, it's pretty heavy. It's got a monstrous transformer in it, and that adds the weight to it. So, anyhow, that's the deal. And we will look forward to Thursday. And so over to KN4R. This is WB4ARK.
Okay, buddy. WB4ARK in the group. KN4R. Yeah, I agree that the handholds on the side of a lot of the Collins units are godsends. You know, it's these things are two-man lifts, especially now, and sure is nice to have a nice handhold on both sides. Let's see, talking about test, I noticed I've been seeing commercials now for, Cologuard checks for colon cancer. You can self-check, send it off. Now apparently they have a cancer guard, and supposedly it can successfully diagnose a number of different kinds of cancers before they're obvious. So I don't know how much that costs out of pocket, but it might not be a bad thing. I know when I go to the VA, they do everything by blood test, and that's their way of doing it. So, but anyway, Doug, have a wonderful time down at MCation. Send us some pictures if you get a chance. And Steve, very interesting on the Drake 2B and the inflation. That's definitely true. So we've got two granddaughters coming over tonight, going to stay until Sunday. So now with dogs and grandkids, we're gonna have a full house here. And but the nice thing is the granddaughters can mess with the dogs, so it'll probably be better. So anyway, 73s to everybody. Hope everybody has a great today and tomorrow, and hope to hear you on Thursday and all that. So 73s, John, take it away. KZ4B in the group, KN4R.
Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, okay. I'm still here, KN4R, N4LQ, sitting here enjoying the QSO and almost got passed by. Thank you, John. And one of the favorite things I've got here is my hydraulic lift table. and thanks to Brian, this thing's here. We both got one at the same time. I use it constantly, especially with that 32 V3, and they make one that will lift up to 50 inches high, which would be nice to have. They don't go down as far. They're a foot off the ground initially, but that would be okay, and that would get me up to the second shelf just fine. So that would be a good investment. They're about $250, so a little bit more expensive. Looking through some of the questions here on the wellness test, and memory questions. Can you remember the last time you remembered something? Do you put things in a safe place and immediately forget where the safe place is? Yeah, I often wonder, what if you fail the test? What are they going to do about it? Give you a pill or something? Let's see. Do you exercise? And no, carrying grudges doesn't count. Let's see here. Have you tried cleaning your glasses only to realize that you weren't wearing them? And do you yell at appliances that don't work right? How long does food last in your refrigerator before turning into a science experiment? And do you talk to your pets as if they're people? That's some good stuff there. Anyway, looking forward to this test. Anyhow, let's see. I guess everybody is saying 73, so I'll do that preemptively and turn it over to KZ4B, N4LQ.
Okay, N4LQ in the group KZ4B, fine business, Steve. Yeah, if I answered the questions honestly, they'd probably send me to the funny farm or maybe jail. I see these ads or articles in the newspaper that say that, this evil person had 10 firearms. And I think, holy crap. I don't know if you go back to the beginning if I ever had that few. And, that kind of thing. So that makes me evil. And, but anyway, it's crazy. So something to be laughed at. And about the lift table, shifting gears, I bought Harbor Freight's 1,000-pound lift table because it lifted up to about, I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 36 inches, which is not that high, but the darn thing weighs 250 pounds. So now I can't push the table. And so I screwed up there. I can never get it right. Shifting gears again, thanks for calling the net, Dave. Enjoyed it. And Doug, enjoy the Orlando. The crowd I usually go with to the Ham Fest is headed down there, but it includes Robert Young of Screwdriver Antenna fame, and they're all going to work. And so I can't afford, since I would not be going to work, I could not afford the cost of the trip. And but I'm sure it's going to be a good one. So I'll just sit here, and I'm about 1,000 years behind on my projects. So it's not like I won't have anything to do. So, George, if you're still in there, take it away. K4GDN in the group, KZ4B, clear but listening.
KZ4B in the groups, K4GDN. And let me check something here. Yeah, things look like they're going pretty much as they're supposed to. Speaking of the hydraulic lift tables, I have one, and you're right, some of them don't go quite so high. The one I've got will get up to the level of my operating table, but it doesn't get up high enough to get into my first shelf on my stack, the vertical. But my vertical is so far back it wouldn't do me much good. But what I do is I put a ramp down on the tabletop, and actually the ramp comes down onto the right, even with the hydraulic lift table, and I push whatever the equipment is up on that ramp and just slide it on up into the first level. But since I got rid of the Johnson 500, I really don't have too much to have to really deal with so heavy. I guess the HT32B is probably about as heavy as anything, and I have a 75A3. It's pretty heavy too, and it's on the second level. But somehow I managed to get it up there. At least for the time being. I don't know what we're going to do when I move. Hopefully that's not going to be too long out in the future. We're going back up to Spartanburg, I guess in about 2 weeks, to give a second look at one house we were looking at. But I'm kind of dreading the move, but in a way I don't want to stay down here in Myrtle Beach, as they call it. Well, I'm going to say 73. Dave, thanks for calling the net. Appreciate it. Look forward to being here on Thursday. Coming to you, Doug. W4DCS in the group, K4GDN.
Okay, George, have a good day. K4GDN, W4DCS. And, yeah, the funny farm, that reminded me of that song. They're coming to take me away, hee hee. I'm with you, John. If I answered them honestly, they'd lock me up. So, anyway, if you guys have any wants or wishes or a weird part, yeah, shoot me a text or email, and I'll see what I can find there in Orlando. There was a lot of guys there with pieces, parts, and miscellaneous stuff. So I don't really have anything on my list. I'm taking a few things down. Got some tube caddies full of tubes that I picked up and have no use for. Don't know why I picked them up. Well, there were some receiver tubes that I could use, so I think I got my money out of it, but they're just taking space. I'll haul those down there. And, yeah, I'll take some photos there, Brian. Enjoy the grandkids. I always do mine. And, yeah, that's all I got. Thanks for calling it, Dave. And I may get on in the morning. I'm not leaving out of here till tomorrow afternoon, so gonna meet Chuck, N4IYQ in Columbus. He's got a buddy there who I think runs a hotel. We're gonna stay there and then head out Thursday morning, head down to Orlando. So that's the plan. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the week. Have a good weekend. Hopefully things are going to thaw out here again. Maybe spring will come around. That'd be nice. So that's all out of me. W4MEC, W4DCS.
Okay, Doug, W4DCS in the group W4MEC. Well, I guess you don't mean Columbus, North Carolina, because there's no motels in Columbus, North Carolina. So, anyway, let's see. It's you don't have enough time, but that fellow up there with Pennsylvania that wanted that rig, it's too bad you couldn't set up someone that he knew going to the Hamcation that could bring it back to him. That's what I did with these URR 33s and 34s. The fellow was going to Dayton, and he dropped them off with Carl, and Carl brought them back here, and I picked them up. So that was a way to get something there, and maybe But the problem is you still got to package that thing up and take it down there, so that's what you're trying to get away from. Let's see, what else we got here? You're talking about that test. I've never taken that test. I wonder, is that something new? Are they expecting you to go to the doctor every year in order to qualify for Medicare? I've never heard of that, never done that. So, but that sounds a lot like those, when you get a warranty card for something and they want you to answer all these questions like, what are your interests, you know, and check off all these little boxes. You never want to do that, because all they'll do is they send it to somebody that sells widgets that you're interested in, and then they bombard you with advertisements for widgets. So I just never fill those out. Just fill out the warranty card and send it back. The rest of them is none of their business. Anyway, that's all right. So I hope that doesn't happen to me this year with that, and make me show up for an extra doctor's appointment just to take a test. So anyway, good to talk to you fellas this morning. I hope it warms up for everybody. I hope it warms up here. We'll look for you on Thursday morning, and y'all have a good rest of the day. 730 WA4LLR in the group, W4MEC.
All right, gentlemen. I've enjoyed it. Yeah, I think John meant Columbia, South Carolina. And yeah, if I answered honestly, do I yell at equipment that don't work sometimes? Do I talk to my pets? Well, absolutely. Why would you have one if you didn't? So, oh well. Bureaucracy is such a wonderful thing. Everybody have a great day. Enjoy the warmth and take care. And Doug, hope you do get on in the morning. So I'll say 7-3, God bless, and we'll close her down for today. This is WA4LLR, Dave in Burnsville, North Carolina, closing this session of the Old Friends Net. 7-3.
Thanks, Charlie. I didn't think of that. I'm gonna shoot the guy an email and see if I can relay from Orlando to PA. Great idea. 7-3, W4DCS.